Hey guys, and welcome back to Teal House Farm. It is Tuesday, so you know that means recipe from the canning pantry. If you're new here, my name is Laura. I'm a homestead mom of 6, soon to be 7, and my husband and I live on a 10-acre little farmstead, and we try to aim towards sustainability, and we're really big on preserving food because it really helps us feed our large family in a much more affordable and sustainable manner. And so every Tuesday I share recipes that we enjoy that use everything from our canning pantry. Our canning pantry is huge. I will link a tour below if you want to see it. And some things in our canning pantry are things that I have grown here on the farm or raised on the farm. And some of the things are things that I bought at the store when they were on cheap discount and put them up for later. So it really is a way to keep food frugal and budget friendly. Today I am actually making breakfast for tomorrow because I would like to get up early, get outside. I need to finish getting our greenhouse wrapped in its plastic because we're expecting our first freeze this week. And I have some lovely looking plants that are in there right now, and I want them to last until Christmas. In order to make that happen, our greenhouse has to be sealed up tight. So I'm going to make breakfast tonight so that tomorrow morning I can have it on the table and I can just head out the door and get some work done, and then as the kids kind of get up, they can just grab breakfast and then come outside if they want to with it, or kind of do whatever just as they eat their breakfast. So for breakfast, we are going to make some hard-boiled eggs, which is pretty easy, and then we're going to use some sweet potatoes from our canning pantry and make some sweet potato muffins. Now let me get everything out and on the counter. I'll show you what you need. These muffins are great. They do not have a real strong sweet potato flavor, but they do have great texture thanks to that sweet potato. And if you want something that is really extra fall-y, I'll link below. We have a delicious pumpkin muffin or pumpkin chocolate chip bread, and that'll give you a real kick of fall as far as flavor. These have a light flavor but a wonderful texture, and the kids like them because that potato flavor isn't super strong and in your face. It tastes just like a really good muffin. Here's everything that we need. It's a pretty basic muffin recipe, so I don't feel like there's any surprises here in the ingredients. We're going to make a double batch. This will make 24 muffins, or in this case, I'm going to make a dozen muffins, and then I'm going to make 1 loaf of bread to freeze for later. I always find when I am making muffins or bread, I always make at least a double batch so that I can have one in the freezer for a day where I want breakfast really fast without having to prep the night before. So we're going to use 2 pints worth of our home canned sweet potatoes. That will equal about 2 cups of sweet potatoes once they've been drained and mashed up. We're going to need 4 eggs. We're going to need some salt. Got some all-purpose flour, some cinnamon, some milk, and you can use a non-dairy alternative if you need to. That'll work just fine. Baking powder, baking soda, and you need a neutral flavored oil. So I'm going to use this avocado oil. Vegetable or canola oil is fine, or you can use butter, melted butter. And then to make it a little more exciting for the kids, I am going to sprinkle some chocolate chips. These are mini chocolate chips on top, and some crushed up pecans for a little bit of a sweet topping on top of the muffins. Okay, let's go ahead and get this all mixed together. To get started, we need to put in our wet ingredients first. So we're going to put 4 eggs into our mixing bowl. And then we also gain a helper who wants to help us. We grab a chair and Mr. P comes to join us, and he adds a cup of milk. Then we're going to add 2/3 cups of a neutral oil, or you can use melted butter. And then we're going to go ahead and open and drain our 2 pints of sweet potatoes, and I'm just going to let the mixer do the mashing. The sweet potatoes get super soft when they're home canned, unlike white potatoes, so they're going to fall right apart in the mixer. Plug it in and start it mixing. Once it's combined pretty well, we're going to add in our dry ingredients in this order. I add 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to add about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of cinnamon. You can adjust that according to your taste. We're going to add 1 1/3 cups of brown sugar, and then very slowly add in 4 cups of all-purpose flour. Do this slowly so that it doesn't all puff back at you while you're putting it in the mixer. Let it mix until everything is all incorporated. It's going to give you a pretty decent stiffer type batter, pretty close to like a banana bread. It should not be super runny. It should look like that. best part of helping Mom is you get to lick the beater, so he's off to show off his prize to all his sisters. And we're gonna get our pans ready. So we're going to make 1 loaf and 1 dozen muffins. So I get my cast iron loaf pan ready. And even though these are well seasoned, I always butter the inside corners. I've just found with these cast iron loaf pans, those corners they get sticky. The bread doesn't come out real well. So either you need to use a liner or just make sure you add a little grease just in those corner edges. And we're going to fill the pan up about halfway, or just a little bit more of halfway. This bread rises a considerable amount, so you do not want to overfill your pan. So halfway or just a little bit more, don't go crazy. Going to top it with some crushed pecans and with some mini chocolate chips. I've also got my oven preheating to 350, and while that goes ahead and gets heated all the way up, we're gonna get our muffin tins. You could use liners or you could grease your muffin pan, whichever you'd rather do, and then we're gonna fill these about 2/3 of the way up. And we're gonna top them just the same way with some crushed pecans and with some chocolate chips. You could add really any kind of topping you want on top. I think even maybe some fruit would be yummy, some apples maybe, and some brown sugar on top. That sounds good. The bowl is empty, which means there's a competition to who can lick it the fastest, so the girls get that. And then our pans are all ready to go in the oven. The oven is fully preheated to 350 Fahrenheit. We're gonna go ahead and just slide them in at the same time. The muffins will take about 15 minutes, so those will be done first. And our bread will take somewhere around 40 to 50 to be completely done. While those are cooking, we're gonna get our eggs ready for tomorrow morning. I found the easiest way to make hard-boiled eggs is in the electric pressure cooker, which sometimes is like an Instapot. This is an off-brand one. You add a cup of water, you add your eggs, you put the cover on and seal it, and it's 5 minutes on manual. The muffins are ready now, so we're gonna pull those out and we'll keep the bread in. We'll check it in another about 20 minutes or so. Those look great. I love how these muffins are they always have such a nice shape to them. Once the bread is done and completely cooled, we're gonna go ahead and remove it from the pan, stick it in a bag, and freeze it for another day. And these muffins I'm just gonna cover with a flour sack towel for the morning. In the morning, the kids beat me to it. They were actually up super early, so I didn't get out to get my work done before they got up, but they did very much enjoy their muffins. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all next time.